Hello, hello. Welcome to LinkedIn Marketing Minis with Karen Yankovich. That's me. And I am here with you every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern to just have a little bit of mojo tips, some little tips to get your mojo moving with your marketing as we move into Q4 2023 and beyond. I am live. If you're watching me live, I am live on my Facebook business page, my Facebook group, which if you are not currently in that group, you should join us at linkedinforwomencommunity.com. I am live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. And if you're watching us on the replay or live, we love your comments. I'd love to jump in and have conversations with you. I can do that. Any questions you have about any of this stuff, just jump in and let me know. Speaking of YouTube, if this is something that you want to binge, I've been doing this every day for the month of September. So it's the 29th version of this, the 29th episode of LinkedIn Marketing Minis. And you can binge them if you'd like to watch. You take the marketingminis.com, the link that's scrolling below me takes you straight to the YouTube playlist for these. Can you see how dark it is in here today? It's raining and so dark out that even with all my lights, it's still dark in this office. So I don't have a lot of lights because I have a lot of windows, and it's so dark out that I feel like I'm in a cave today. So good morning to everyone. Somebody on LinkedIn, and I don't know who this is, it just says LinkedIn user. What am I using to stream? I'm using StreamYard. I'm using StreamYard to stream, which I absolutely love. So if you want to use StreamYard, if you go to KarenYankovich.com/tools, there's a whole page of all the tools that I use there, and you can check that out there. In fact, I'm not sure StreamYard's there. It should be if it's not. So what are we talking about today? What we're talking about today is how I use LinkedIn and Twitter together. And the reason I wanted to talk about this, if you have not yet listened to this week's episode of the Good Girls Get Rich podcast, which just came out today, which I believe is episode 251. Let me just double check that. Nope, it is 253. So episode 253. So if you go to KarenYankovich.com/253 or just go to goodgirlsgetrich.com, you'll see that I had an interview this week with Donna Cravata. And Donna and I are both fans of using LinkedIn and Twitter together. Now, let's get real. I think we can all agree that we don't really know what's going on with Twitter these days, right? And honestly, the Twitter, politics aside, right? Forget about what you think or don't think about Elon Musk. The reality is, as a business owner, I'm really happy that I'm working on LinkedIn, that I'm driving people from LinkedIn to my email list, and I'm building a business that has a foundation that I own, right? Because I actually really love Twitter, but Elon Musk, who knows? He could decide tomorrow to just pull the plug, right? And that's it. My 100,000 followers on Twitter are gone, right? Because I'm at his whim. I don't have control of that. So I'm telling you this because I'm going to talk a little bit about the strategy that I've been using and that Donna and I talk about on the podcast this week. But I'm also saying that, be clear that you want to have strategies that build your foundation, your marketing foundation on use these tools, but build your foundation on something you own, like building your email list. And even on LinkedIn, you're building, I advocate building relationships. If you watched any of these previous episodes, you'll see that. I advocate building relationships. So building relationships can happen on LinkedIn and Twitter, and that drives them to, once we get to know these people, we know them, right? You can't unknow people. So we can continue to market to them that way, whether or not, Twitter is still a thing or not. But I wanted to talk a little bit about what Donna and I talked about, and also how I use this, right? Because at the end of the day, I am really all about having space and ease and freedom in my life and in my business. I'm all about that, right? So to me, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. I batch my time, I batch what I do, and I'm really careful about what I send out and how I send things out. And building this relationship stuff, it's on me, right? I'm not really looking for somebody to pretend to be me and build relationships. Obviously, I have support, I have marketing support and things like that, but this is why I show up here live. I want you and I to build relationships, right? So the same thing applies on Twitter. Okay, which is why I think LinkedIn and Twitter together are a powerful combination for professionals. Because, if you're we talked a couple of days ago, we talked about how to use LinkedIn for conferences, right? Well, one of the ways that I use Twitter for conferences is I'll take a lot of pictures of, like, if I'm at a conference and there's a speaker on the stage, I'll take a lot of pictures of the speaker and I'll tweet them. I'll be like, and I'll just send out a bunch of tweets. I'll use the conference hashtags, all of that. Yes, it gets me engagement on Twitter, but more importantly, it drives the relationship forward between me and the conference organizers, especially if it's something I want to speak at, because they're happy I'm tweeting their stuff and using their hashtags, and it helps me build relationships with the speakers, right? Like, as a speaker, I love when people do that, because number one, there's pictures that I can use now in my marketing because they took a picture of me with a microphone in my hand, right? But also, it gives me a chance to get to know them. Like, maybe we met in the hallway at the conference, but now I can follow up. But it's not just about, so Twitter is great to engage with your audience, but then I want to bring people back to LinkedIn to actually connect. Does that make sense? So conferences is just one example of how I use Twitter and LinkedIn in sync, right, to further my marketing goals. I'm at the conference anyway. It does not take that long for me to just take a quick snapshot and tweet them. But what it does mean is that, like, ahead of time, maybe I've had my assistant go in and add the speaker's Twitter handles to my Twitter, so I don't have to go digging them up on that day, right? So, like, putting a little forethought into this, right? And then also, of course, I'm connecting with them on LinkedIn. I've already talked about that. But LinkedIn and Twitter also have built-in integrations. So when you share a post on LinkedIn, and I'm still calling it Twitter, I know it's called X now, but I don't know what we're supposed to do about that, because you still go to twitter.com to get there, right? So maybe by the time you watch this, that will change, but just, that's why I'm still calling it Twitter. But LinkedIn and Twitter have an integration. You can share posts on Twitter right from LinkedIn. If you create a LinkedIn long form post or a LinkedIn article or LinkedIn newsletter, you can share it on Twitter, right? So LinkedIn's got a built-in integration to cross promote your content on Twitter to increase your visibility. Right. And this is how you boost engagement across all of your platforms, right? Does that make sense? So it's not a lot to this topic here today. It's just a kind of a short, quick topic, but I wanted to just talk about it quickly, especially because I just talked about it this week on the podcast with Donna Cravata, which you totally need to listen to. Let me actually drop that in for you. Give me one second here. You should definitely listen to this show this week, because KarenYankovich.com/253 gets you there. And you can listen to Donna and I talking about this and how we met each other. Like, we kind of knew each other beforehand, but we actually met in person at a conference, and we talked about our mutual love for LinkedIn and Twitter and how we're still using it to further our businesses. So you want to listen to that podcast. It's actually a really good episode. I was really grateful to have Donna on there. And she talked a little bit about some great AI tips for entrepreneurs. So you totally want to dig into that as well. One last thing before I let you go. One of the questions that I've got from a lot of people is, how does this all work together, right? How does this all work together? So I did a short little video that just kind of ties all of these videos together. If you go to sluvideo.com, no opt-in, I don't need your email address. You can just click that link or go to that link and watch the video. And it talks a little bit about how all of this fits together, because I know that I'm giving you all these little random tips. I want them to be valuable, but also there is an overall strategy here. And if you want to know what that looks like, watch the video at that link that's scrolling below. And also on that page, you can grab a link to my calendar if you want to chat and see what it looks like to get some support with this stuff. All right. So let's see what's on deck for tomorrow. We're talking tomorrow about micro-targeting and flipping the funnel. You want to know what that means? You need to jump in tomorrow. I'll see you then.